Half-Life was Valve's first game released in 1998. You play as Gordon Freeman, a scientist who must escape the Black Mesa facility. It gets overran by aliens from a science experiment gone wrong, so you get armed with a crowbar and have to fight the aliens while trying to escape. It was the first of its kind, with great storytelling, and is considered one of the greatest games of all time. Team Fortress Classic was a groundbreaking shooter that started as a Half-Life mod. Released in 1999, it introduced 9 unique character classes, each with strengths and weaknesses. Players work together to capture flags and control points or dominate the other team. It laid the groundwork for multiplayer games and introduced the iconic character classes we see today. Ricochet was a fast-paced arena shooter released in 2000. It puts you in futuristic arenas to battle 1v1 or as a team, using a variety of weapons and power-ups to outplay the opponents. Counter-Strike exploded onto the gaming scene as a Half-Life mod turned standalone game in 2000 as a tactical first-person shooter, putting terrorists against counter-terrorists in intense objective-based matches. It introduced a level of tactical gameplay that was never seen before. Counter-Strike, or commonly known as CS 1.6, became the blueprint for competitive shooters, attracting players with its high-stakes matches. Deathmatch Classic was all about shooting other players as quickly as possible in arena-styled maps. You used weapons like shotguns, rocket launchers, and crowbars to try to be the last one standing. It's Quake, but in the Gold Source engine. Day of Defeat puts players right in the middle of World War II. Instead of fighting aliens or robots, you became a soldier, either for the Allies or the Axis. You worked with your team to complete objectives like capturing points or defending your base. Counter-Strike Condition Zero was a fresh take on Counter-Strike. It added a surprising twist with a single-player campaign. This was a unique move for a game mainly focused on multiplayer. While still having the intense competitive gameplay that made Counter-Strike famous, Condition Zero also offered players a chance to experience the world of Counter-Strike from a different view in the campaigns. Counter-Strike Source was a remake of the original Counter-Strike built on Valve's Source engine instead of Gold Source. Released in 2004, it kept the core gameplay of objective-based matches and offered a fresh visual experience in the new engine. Unlike Condition Zero, CS Source focused solely on the multiplayer experience. Half-Life Source is a direct port of the original Half-Life game to the Source engine, introducing graphics and AI improvements as well as some subtle level changes. Despite its improved graphics, there was a bunch of glitches caused by the Source updates to the point that Valve even removed the game from the Steam search results. Day of Defeat Source was like taking the original World War II game and remaking it with the Source engine. You fought as a soldier for the Americans or Germans with 6 different classes to experience team-based battles. Just an improved version of the original. Half-Life 2 was a game changer. As Gordon Freeman, you return to Earth, which is overran by the Combine. You team up with a girl named Alyx to fight back and try to save the world. Half-Life 2 was special because it had amazing graphics, a super cool story, and physics that were way ahead of their time. It introduced iconic characters like Alyx Vance, plus the gravity gun, with its overall impact still felt in gaming today. Half-Life 2 Deathmatch brought the intense action of Half-Life 2 to multiplayer. Using all the cool weapons and gadgets from the campaign, it was like a fast-paced arena shooter with the Half-Life 2 flair. Half-Life 2 Lost Coast was given away by Valve for free as a taste of what they could do. Lost Coast wasn't a full game like others, but showed off Valve's skill at creating immersive worlds. Half-Life 2 Episode 1 picked up right where Half-Life 2 left off, throwing you back into the action as Gordon Freeman. You and Alyx are on the run after a big explosion, trying to escape the ruined city. The game had a darker feel, but was a great bridge between Half-Life 2 and the next episode. Half-Life 2 Episode 2 was the next chapter in Gordon Freeman's fight against the Combine. You and Alyx escaped the city, but are now headed to a resistance base in the countryside. Episode 2 expanded with the Half-Life universe in exciting ways. The game's cliffhanger ending left fans waiting for the next installment. Portal flipped gaming on its head as a new title from Valve in 2007. Trapped in a bizarre lab, you used a portal gun to solve ingenious puzzles. This tool lets you create doorways getaways, allowing you to teleport yourself and objects. Battling a sarcastic AI, you had to think creatively to escape. Team Fortress 2 was a massive upgrade from the original. With its unique characters, each with their own personality and playstyle, it became a massive hit. The game's cartoonish art style was a breath of fresh air compared to other gritty shooters at the time. From the heavy-hitting soldier to the sneaky spy, every class brought something different. TF2 added loot boxes and cosmetic items, allowing players to show off their style, a trend Valve would follow in future games. Left 4 Dead was different from Valve's usual stuff at the time, and released in 2008. Instead of fighting aliens or terrorists, you were fighting zombies. But it wasn't just about shooting zombies, it was about working together with friends to survive. You had to stick together, help each other, and use teamwork. Left 4 Dead 2 was like the first game but improved. You played as a new group of survivors with your friends, fighting zombies with more realistic gameplay than number 1. The maps were bigger and the teamwork was more important than before. It built on everything that made the first game great and is a fan favorite zombie game today. Alien Swarm was a co-op shooter released in 2010, where you teamed up with your friends to blast alien bugs. It was a classic top-down shooter. You had different classes and you had to work together to survive each wave. Portal 2 expanded on the original's mind-blowing portal mechanic with new gadgets and puzzles. You return to the Aperture Science Lab as Chell, this time with a sarcastic robot sidekick named Wheatley. It also added a co-op mode to play with a friend. Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or CSGO, was released in 2012. It kept the core gameplay of intense firefights and teamwork, but added new life through updated graphics, maps, and new modes through constant updates. CSGO added cosmetic items like skins and cases to the series, which changed Counter-Strike forever. The first-person shooter's popularity rose and became a global phenomenon, dominating the esports scene and influencing countless other games. Dota 2 is a MOBA that took the world by storm. It started as a mod, but evolved into a standalone title with millions of players. You pick from a roster of heroes, each with unique abilities, and work as a team to destroy the enemy's base. Dota 2 was the first to introduce a battle pass system back in 2013, setting a trend for countless other games that you see today. With massive tournaments like the International and a dedicated player base, Dota 2 has held its place as a gaming giant. Counter-Strike Nexon Studio was a different take on the first-person shooter with a zombie apocalypse twist. Although it's not as popular as the rest of the series, it's seen as a heavily modded version of Counter-Strike 1.6. The lab was Valve's first dive into virtual reality. It wasn't a full game, but a collection of mini experiences to show off VR's potential. From fixing robots to defending a castle, the lab was like a playground for VR tech. Artifact was Valve's attempt to break into the digital card game scene. It combined elements of Dota 2 with traditional card games. You built a deck of cards and battled other players across lanes. Artifact, though, struggled to find a large player base. Dota Underlords is a fast-paced strategy game where you build a team of heroes to battle other players. It's like chess, but with Dota characters. You combine different heroes to create a powerful alliance and outsmart your opponents. Underlords, though, couldn't keep the same popularity as Dota 2 and lost most of the player base. Half-Life Alyx was released in 2020 and was a game changer. It was the first Valve game built entirely for VR. This time you played as Alyx Vance, with the combat and exploration all feeling real. For the first time ever, it felt like you were actually stepping into the Half-Life universe. Alyx wasn't just a game, it was an experience that redefined what VR could be. Artifact Foundry was Valve's attempt to reboot their failed card game. It simplified the original game Artifact and focused on faster, more accessible gameplay. With it also having a low player base, Valve decided to stop supporting the project. Aperture Desk Job was a funny little game Valve made to show off their new Steam Deck in 2022. You play as a low employee in the Aperture Science Lab, doing boring tasks like testing toilets. It's not like the action-packed Portal games, but it's still fun with Aperture's weird humor. Counter-Strike 2, or CS2, was a big upgrade to the series, moving over to the Source engine in 2023. CS2 introduced groundbreaking changes like the smoke grenade that spreads like real smoke, new lighting for the maps, and sub-tick. The transition to CS2 has been a hot topic as it replaced CSGO entirely, removing many of the features players enjoyed from the previous game. With its updated modern graphics, and since it's the most recent Valve release, the story for CS2 is not over yet. Deadlock is Valve's next game, and although unreleased and is still in development, is in the middle of a large playtest that is no secret, where you'll be controlling a character with unique abilities and working as a team to destroy the enemy's base. It takes the best features from MOBAs like Dota and combines them with third-person shooter elements to create another groundbreaking game by Valve. With each new project, Valve pushes the boundaries of what's possible in gaming, and we can't wait to see what they do next, like the rumored Half-Life X.